judicial season is upon us. We are trying to introduce you to as many justices, judges, judicial candidates as possible. I want to thank Sonny Hirsch for all his efforts in helping us present everything, and in some cases I'm helping him present everybody to the community. And we want to let you know as many people as we possibly can. It is a pleasure to introduce you to a candidate for judge in the 6th Subcircuit of Cook County, Mark Ferrante. How are you?
Hi, Avi. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you, and it's a pleasure meeting you. And tell us a little bit about your background.
Well, I was raised on northwest side of Chicago. Single mom. My parents were divorced at a young age, and I was actually kind of adopted by her employers, were a father and a son. They were like my grandfather and father. They happened to be Jewish. So my Jewish friends from law school always joke that I know more Yiddish than they do. And they call me Ferrantelstein sometimes. But be that as it may, I was raised by a single mom, and my sister, she raised both of us and helped us through school. I went to public grammar schools, and then I went to Catholic high school, and then eventually graduated from the University of Illinois at Champaign with a business degree. But I always wanted to be a lawyer. When I was a kid, most kids would say, I want to be a fireman, a policeman. My parents used to whisper in my ears, tell me I want to be a lawyer, and that stuck.
Wow.
Not because of that, but just as I went through school, I saw that's where I really did want to go towards. I wasn't into science as much and math, even though I did very well in those subjects. So I geared my whole career, high school, college, and definitely law school, towards being a lawyer.
Where did you graduate law school?
I went to Chicago Kent. My resume actually says that I've been a lawyer for 28 plus years, but I started working in the city's legal department in 1979 when I was in college, in between my junior and senior year. They invited me back during the holidays, spring break and New Year's holiday. And so I worked whenever I could there. And then when I started law school, I worked all through law school. And what I would do is run back and forth from class and take a lot of night classes, second and third year, so I could work all day. And as a result of that, the second year, you can get a 711 license, which is a temporary license with the Supreme Court. And I actually tried, or prosecuted rather, 2 to 8 cases a day in
Wow.
the Mayor's License Commission all through law school. It was a tremendous experience. So by the time I got out of law school, I was not courtroom nervous at all. I felt very comfortable trying cases, and that's what I eventually did. So when I graduated, I did stay on at the Corporation Counsel as a trial attorney, defending the city in all types of manners, including police brutality or police misconduct and civil rights cases. And then I was quickly promoted to senior attorney, and I stayed there from 84 to 87, and then I went out into the private practice in the personal injury field, and I worked with some very nice prominent firms that taught me very well how to organize cases and be prepared for trial. And in 1991, I started my own practice, which I've had for over 21 years now, handling all kinds of complex personal injury matters, from auto accident cases all the way up to airline crash cases. I worked on the Midway Airlines crash case with a firm out of New York that's helped me with cases out in New York, and I was their local counsel for that case. So it was very interesting, broad depth of experience I've had with my own practice.
You know, it sounds that I know that having dealt in complex things is something that the various legal, the judicial organizations look for when they grade judges. Now, you're very highly rated from what I've seen.
Well, without being fat-headed, I'm very fortunate. As I said, I had a varied career. I've worked at some really great firms, and I've had a very successful solo practice. But I'm most proud of the fact that I received highly qualified from the Chicago Bar Association and a number of other organizations, including the Decalogue Society, the Hispanic Bar Association, and the Puerto Rican Bar Association. Every association has its own ratings. Some have just 2 tiers, qualified, not qualified. Others have 3, and one has 4. And I'm very proud of the fact I received a well-qualified rating from the Chicago Council of Lawyers because I hear that they're stingy with their ratings.
I understand that myself, and as a matter of fact, yeah, you've got all the major, you've got some of the heavy ones that I'd want to get the highest recommendations from. Those you've got, so that speaks very highly of you.
Thanks.
Why don't you tell us where the 6th District is?
Well, the 6th Subcircuit, I was explaining to your prior guest, Judge Bender, it starts on the south at Halstead and Kinsey, and then kind of follows Ashland and the river all the way north to Lawrence, in between Lawrence in between the river and Central Park, and then it juts back up to Belmont and Diversey, goes all the way west, and from Kinsey it starts narrowing, goes all the way west to 1 block past Central. So it's a pretty varied group of neighborhoods. Used to be primarily Hispanic, and the subcircuits were created to give all different types of people of all different ethnic backgrounds a chance to beat the machine and not always have a candidate with an apostrophe or a certain ethnic background always win the election. And that still is the good purpose behind the the subcircuit races.
So I take it you're trying to meet and greet as many people as you can?
Yes, it's the good thing about being a trial lawyer is a lot of people don't realize how intense that is. They see people, lawyers on TV, and think that they just stand up on the balls of their feet and try cases. There's years of preparation that go into a single case, and months of intense preparation before the trial actually starts, those months leading up to the trial. So it's a lot of 1 o'clock in the morning to getting back to court or back to your office at 6, going back to court at 8:30. Sometimes you do that for 2 weeks at a stretch. It's very intense. The judicial election has prepared me for that, or the trial work has prepared me for that. It's amazing how people ask me how the campaign's going, and I say fast and furious, because that's what it is.
Very good. If people would like to contact your campaign or check your website?
It's www.Ferrante for Judge. So my name, Ferrante for Judge.